Beaumont Planning Commission at 6 p.m.
We'll do roll call if you're ready.
We're ready.
Commissioner Barr?
Here.
Commissioner Tinker?
Present.
Commissioner Smith is absent. Vice Chairman St. Martin?
Here.
Chairman Voss?
Here. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rebecca, any changes?
I have none.
Okay. Nate's not here, so are there any other conflicts of interest?
No conflicts.
All right. Any one person may address the Planning Commission on any matter not on this agenda. If you wish to speak, please fill out a public comment form provided at the back table and give to the city clerk. There is a 3-minute time limit on public comments. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. State law prohibits the commission from discussing or taking actions brought up by your comments. Item number 1, approval of minutes.
So moved. I move we approve minutes for 4/10/18 and 4/19/18.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Barr?
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker?
Yes.
Vice Chairman St. Martin?
Yes.
Chairman Voss?
Yes. Item number 2, conditional use permit 2018-0018 for a large family daycare.
Good evening, Commission. You have before you tonight for your consideration conditional use permit 2018-0018 for a large family daycare located at 11250 Littler Lane.
Oh, it's not going to pick you up.
Thought I might be loud enough.
You are.
You were.
And we can hear you.
Right, it won't pick it up in the audio though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, okay.
All right, stuck. I can't get it in clearly. We'll get closer. How's that?
Heather's given the okay, so I guess you got it married.
If you use both, it'll be like in stereo.
Right. The Municipal Code of the City of Beaumont requires the approval of a conditional use permit by the Planning Commission for large family daycares. The purpose of this requirement is to establish a formal review of such proposals, which involves conducting a public hearing and giving written notice to property owners within a 300-foot radius of the site. Through this process, the Commission has the opportunity to determine if the proposed use or the location of the use is compatible with surrounding uses or through conditions can be made compatible. The Planning Commission can either deny or approve the proposal and may establish conditions of approval for the business operations to ensure that it will not be a detriment to the community. Staff was contacted by the fire department who had received a request for inspection of the daycare at the proposed location. Staff informed the applicant of the requirement for a conditional use permit. The application was filed by Jennifer Perez to approve the relocation of an existing in-home daycare from Hickory Tree Lane to Littler Lane. The home is located in Fairway Canyon. It is a specific plan area and is a conforming use. The applicant has been operating as a large family daycare with a license from the state of California at the previous location for the past 5 years. The applicant has filed their conditional use permit to operate an in-home daycare for up to 14 children, which is subject to the Planning Commission review and approval. The proposed application is exempt from the provisions of CEQA. The nature of this project is childcare. The business would be in operation 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. As with all applications of this type, concerns typically exist with compatibility with a single-family residential neighborhood. With a large family daycare, the requested scale of operations may potentially result in concerns including noise, increased activity levels, and parking and circulation problems associated with drop-off and pickup traffic. That being said, the city has not received any complaints related to this business. The interior play area is comprised of the family room, living room, and dining area, along with a front bedroom utilized for infant care. The exterior play area consists of play equipment and a patio area in the backyard. Staff feels that the available interior and exterior play areas should be suitable for a large home daycare However, final determination of adequacy of the site is to be made by the state of California as part of its facility licensing. This use can function without impacts to neighborhood, or the fact that this use can function without impacts to the neighborhood should be evaluated through this process. Some potential concerns for staff are that exterior play activities with up to 14 children may result in nuisance noise in the area. Also, the pickup and drop-off of up to 14 children could potentially burden the existing on-street parking capabilities. Staff has added a condition that there shall be 2 driveway parking spaces available at all times to accommodate the pickup and drop-off traffic. Staff feels the 2 driveway parking spaces will be sufficient for this facility. As with all in-home daycare facilities, the business is subject to state of California licensing, inspection, and monitoring. The city's role is limited to land use appropriateness, while all operational matters are handled by the state. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission hold a public hearing and approve conditional use permit number 2018-0018, subject to the proposed conditions of approval. Staff's available if you have any questions, and the applicant is also here in the audience.
All right, we'll open the public hearing at 6:06. Commissioners, do you have any questions of the applicant?
No.
No, I don't.
No speakers?
No requests.
Close the public hearing at 6:06. Any questions of staff?
None.
No?
No, I'm getting the evil eye from Rebecca, so I'm not. No.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the conditional use permit 2018-0018 for the home daycare, family daycare location.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. Item number 3, minor plot plan PP 2018-0094 for proposed truck and trailer parking.
Good evening again. Minor plot plan 2018-0094 is a proposed establishment of truck parking on 1.21 acres located at 929 4th Street across from the Rudolph Foods Company building. The property is zoned manufacturing, and the proposed use is not specifically listed in the municipal code. In this zone, the municipal code allows for automobile parking facilities as a permitted use and allows for manufacturing, warehousing, and distributing food and related products. The proposed use is an accessory use that will allow the existing business to function more efficiently. Staff thinks the use is minor in nature, no permanent buildings associated, and any concerns about adding this use can be addressed through this application process and approval by the Beaumont Planning Commission. The subject site is currently vacant. To the north is the applicant's business, Rudolph Foods Company. To the south, west, and east are primarily vacant parcels with a few industrial buildings. The project was presented at the City's Development Review Committee on April 19th, where departments reviewed, discussed, and provided conditions for the project. The site, as conditioned, would be paved and landscaped. There is also a new driveway and sidewalk improvements proposed along 4th Street frontage. Approximately 65% of the site will be paved, including 22 delineated parking spaces. The remaining 35% of the site would be landscaped and will include an infiltration basin. All the proposed landscaping will be required to meet the city's landscaping ordinance and requires water-efficient landscaping. Separate detailed plans will be required as part of the conditions of approval. The applicant originally proposed 6-foot wrought iron fencing along the front, visible from 4th Street, and black-coated chain link around the sides and rear of the property. Staff has requested the applicant provide wrought iron fencing along the sides of the property as well, since both sides are visible from the street. Staff has also requested the applicant include landscape screening material along the fence line to decrease the visibility of truck parking from the street and from the surrounding properties. Rudolph Foods Company runs 24 hours per day. Trucks arrive for both drop-off and pickup of goods. Due to the length of time it takes to load or unload a truck and the limited space on site, the trucks are having to park on the street while waiting for their turn to enter the property. The use of this site, as proposed, will remedy the issue of trucks parking on the street and will provide much-needed improvements to the property. This proposed application is exempt from CEQA and does not require an initial study to be conducted. Staff's recommendation is to approve minor plot plan 2018-0094 for proposed truck and trailer parking for trailers awaiting loading and unloading of food products on a 1.21 acre lot, subject to the attached conditions of approval. And staff is available if you have any questions, and the applicants are here in the audience, and I believe they would like an opportunity to address the commission.
Any questions of staff before we open the public hearing?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, what kind of screening material are we talking about?
We were referring to landscape screening, so some type of plant or shrub, tree material that would help screen the visibility of the trailers while they're waiting.
Yeah, so it's not going to be any fabric material that could be shredded by the winds around here? Okay.
Where is this?
So,
On 4th Street off of... You remember the 600,000 square foot and 200,000 square, or 400,000 square foot building that was built about 8 and 9 years ago and sat vacant?
So it's here off 4th Street and Nicholas where those older industrial buildings are installed. This is directly across the street from it. So it's not a new building. The building has been in existence.
Okay, this is on, this is west of California.
Yes, west of California.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
No,
sorry.
I-
South of the city.
He's from here. No. Yes, west of California.
I kept looking at this drawing going, what the hell is this building?
Yeah, California's over here.
Okay, now I know where I'm at,
Yeah,
I think.
that's what I was picturing.
Yeah, I got lost with it. I'm thinking, where is this?
Yeah.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. This doesn't request that we have a public hearing, do I?
It does not,
Okay.
a minor plot plan does not
Okay.
require a public hearing, so you just open to take testimony, or just take testimony, but it's not an official public hearing.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to come on up.
Flip a coin.
Chairman, if you just want to call, you can say public comment, open public comment.
We'll open the public comment at 6:12.
Good evening. My name is Alan Hilwig. I'm the engineering representative for the project. And my comments or questions are only about 3 items. The very first one, I think, is on the fencing, and it's already been mentioned that in the plot plan, it showed the wrought iron fencing along the frontage and returning for a portion along the east and west lines. From that point on, what we had proposed at the client's request is black vinyl coated fencing for the remainder of that area along east and west and along the back line, which is the south line. This was simply just an economic request. Just the additional expense that they were getting in the quotes for the wrought iron. This is not a high security area. It's only for the truck parking. We're not going to have any buildings or anybody that's going to be in this area for a long period of time. So it was just a request on his part to consider the coated vinyl fencing that will also be black. The second item is on the screening material, and I think that was a good question as far as what type of screening material. It was clarified that this is landscaping. So what happens is that as this landscaping matures, it becomes a screened barrier from seeing it from the street and seeing that there's trucks or trailers parked in this area. The concern of the applicant on this is security and vandalism. And as you decrease the visibility from the street, you can't see who's within those lots and possibly going around those trailers and trying to break into them. while they're waiting to be picked up. So it's more of a security issue, especially across the frontage, and that's where your patrol is going to be by Beaumont PD, and that's what they were concerned. Along the side and the back lines, not so much. I mean, it could be vines on the fence, and actually could be a deterrent for climbing them and coming in. And then the last item is, on the plan, we note the parking lot to be a impervious surface. Right now, it has a design by the geotech engineer of being asphalt over compacted base or concrete over compacted native. Because, as you probably know, anytime you design a site anymore, the driving element of designing it is, what do you do with your water, your storm water? So it was brought up that we may want to enter some ideas of how to put in some other pervious materials. They can be types of, I know I've used turf blocks a lot of times and different things that the water will actually go through it. But that's not just, the only option that's out there. So rather than having the conditions state that it's going to be a impervious parking lot, we want the option to have the geotech look at this again. And the reason we want another look at it is that it's very lightweight trailers. They come in empty and they get filled with pork rinds. So the weight doesn't go up, and it doesn't have a heavy load weight. Right now is our value of 21 if they were loaded with steel. And we want to have another look at that and possibly redesign that section. And that's our only comments.
Any questions?
Well, now that I know that this is the place that makes the pork rinds, I'm okay.
Before you leave, are there any hazardous material that comes off the trucks while they're putting the trailers in place that would be going through this material that you're talking about for the pavement? Because we have an issue with water here, and we don't want to contaminate any of our scarce water supplies. So, just curious.
Not to my knowledge, there shouldn't be anything dropping off of the trucks. I mean, standard vehicle on a road, oil, fuel, water. But if they're properly maintained, no.
No, just the trailers are going to be sitting there? Just the
Yes,
box.
what they do is they bring in the trailer and they drop it and leave it.
Mm-hmm. And move the tractor?
And the tractor leaves.
Okay.
And then they come back later when it's loaded and pick it back up again.
So do you have a yard goat come from the building?
Yes.
Pick it up, bring it back?
Yes. Any other questions?
I have no more.
Okay, we'll close public comment at 6:18. Rebecca, any comments on?
Yeah, I'd be happy to address some of the concerns. Obviously, the city's focus and staff's job is to make sure that the city is aesthetically pleasing, where the security feature would be up to the applicant. They can provide cameras or provide a security guard. So staff's recommendation on the landscaping screening is for aesthetic purposes. We want to make sure that the city, and when people are driving through this community, that that we're providing a good aesthetics in our city. And same with the same reason that we're requiring this wrought iron fencing all the way along the sides, because it is vacant, so you can see it from both directions on 4th Street, complete from the right of way. And so that's the reason aesthetically we want to see the wrought iron run the entire length of the sides of the property and not just 20 feet back, because there's not a building adjacent to it that would hide that visibility from the public right of way. And lastly, regarding to the pavement, our section for parking and required improvements under 17.05.070 actually requires that all parking spaces, maneuvering areas, turnarounds, and driveways shall be paved with faultic concrete or Portland cement in accordance with the standards set by the city engineer and public works director. So they're conditioning it per our municipal code and per the public works department standards for parking lots.
So where does the runoff go?
They have to do that through the WQMP and provide the proper measures, mitigation measures for that.
So it looks like maybe they have a swale on site?
That's basically what happens.
And do we have a problem with the vinyl coated chain link for the balance? You know, if the wrought iron is wrapping around and it's going to be blocked with vegetation.
That's your call. Staff's recommendation was on the sides to put the wrought iron. I think we allowed the chain link. Our condition is written, the chain link for the rear is okay, but we felt that the distance on the sides were visible from the right of way. However, if you want to allow for that amendment with additional landscape screening on the sides, you know, our intent on the landscape screening was increase landscape screening along the front, but perhaps, you know, we can trade off the landscape screening on the sides on the interior, because they've got some landscape area on the interior, instead of the tubular steel or wrought iron.
Add the landscape screening to the interior,
Well,
but not to the outside.
Well, you wouldn't, if the fence line on the side is on the property line, you wouldn't landscape on someone else's property. So that landscaping would be on the interior of it, where they would grow some vines or some shrubs along the interior of the wrought iron or chain link and hopefully fill in the chain link. But you wouldn't be able to put it on the exterior, because that would be, they usually put the fence on the property line. So there'd be no place for the landscaping on the sides.
Aesthetically, if you have the landscape screen, the chain link doesn't make.
You're not even
that
going
big
to
of a-
see it.
Yeah. And it's already a vacant lot, so having anything there will look better than,
Improvement.
yeah.
I have a question on it. You know, Rebecca, I'm familiar with turf block. And just a thought, you know, when you use turf block, it allows the moisture to be absorbed right into the ground. You don't have a flooding situation, you don't have a spillage, because with turf block, it is porous enough that the water's absorbed right into the ground instead of going to a catch basin type of affair, which then, where's it gonna go? And that's my only thing. I would just encourage you to consider the turf block. I know it can hold the weight because we use it for fire trucks, so, in a lot of areas, but it allows that moisture, instead of flowing off somewhere, it allows that moisture to be absorbed right in, so, just a thought.
We can pass that on.
Yeah,
Public Works Department.
I've used it in many places, and sometimes instead of running water off, if we capture it locally, it seems to settle back in where it's at.
I would be okay with the chain link on the side, black vinyl chain link, considering there's gonna be landscape improvements. Yeah, so,
Just for reference, that condition regarding the fencing is 3.6. If you wanted to make amendments to 3.6 in your motion, and the landscaping is on 3.7, if you wanted to make an amendment to 3.6 and 3.7 to change 3.6 to include wrought iron along the front, and I believe it was 20 feet on the side. And actually, you can even keep it all in 3.6 with
Yeah.
landscape screening materials designed to reduce visibility of truck parking. We can interpret that to be on the sides as well.
so are we still talking about wrapping so many feet and
20
then wrought
feet,
iron
I believe
behind,
is
so, yeah.
what the applicant
Yeah,
is requesting.
So, yeah, I guess I'll move to approve with the changes to condition 3.6 as you stated. Makes sense.
So you made the motion?
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. All right, item number 4, sign program amendment, Plan 2018-0137.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is a proposed sign program amendment to amend the Walmart sign program. This sign program consists of wall signs, monument signs, and a freeway sign. The original sign program was approved in 2005 with a Farmer Boys amendment in July 2012 and an amendment in 2012 by Walmart to update the Walmart logo, and in 2017 to add grocery pickup. We have asked Walmart each time, including this time, to please put together a sign program with some ability to be done by staff. However, each time we have run through these amendments, they're in a rush to get them through. They're ready to do their upgrades on the building. So we're back here again with a new amendment to reflect their updated marketing vision, which is changing market and replacing it with grocery, replacing home and pharmacy with a new home and pharmacy signs, removing outdoor living and replacing it with lawn and garden, and adding new signs for Vision Center and Auto Center. The total building square footage, building sign square footage is increasing from 59.13 square feet. I'm sorry.
It's increasing by 59.
By 59.13
Yeah.
square feet, excuse me. The amendment is consistent with the intent of the approved sign program and design standards. If it is approved by the Planning Commission, a building permit would be required prior to installation. We have included a schedule of the existing signs versus proposed signs and have attached the actual sign program showing the location, size, and style of the sign. And with that, the applicant is here to answer the questions as well as staff, and we recommend you approve sign program amendment PLAN 2018-0137 as presented.
Any questions of staff? Please.
Rebecca, isn't this kind of in line to what we've already approved down there? I mean, it seems like every time we turn around, we're either doing Ramona Tires or Home Depot or Walmart. Isn't this pretty much in line with what we've done in the past?
Yeah, it's a developing
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of an ongoing thing, is it not?
Yes, a lot of times, like I said, you'll see sign programs that allow for so much sign area or so many signs per frontage, and when that changes, it comes back to you. But Walmart has processed it with these specific signs, so anytime they make any changes, it has to come back to you for a sign program amendment. But it is proposed in line with what we've approved in other centers.
And this is the original sign program that you guys approved years ago?
Well, it's with all of the amendments.
Right. Okay, I kept thinking, haven't we done this before?
You like I said, you've approved it for Walmart 2 or 3 times. We approved it when the original sign program had signs allocated for a gas station. However, Farmer Boys went in, so they amended the sign program to include the Farmer Boys signs instead of the gas station signs. And then, like I said, every time Walmart changes their marketing, which I'm told is about every 5 years, you're going to see this every 5 years until they put a sign program together that allows for staff to approve it, that just has a maximum square footage or a maximum number of signs. That way it would, when they apply for a sign permit, it would be in compliance with the program.
Okay, let me ask you something right there. When will we get to the point, and what will it take for us to get to the point that staff can approve these sign changes so it doesn't have to come to the Planning Commission?
Unfortunately, that's the applicant who needs to apply for another sign program amendment with a proper sign program instead of just applying for the exact signs. Every time they've applied and we've warned them, it always seems to come down to the last minute. Just like now, they're getting ready or have already pulled their permit to do their interior alterations, and they want these signs to follow pretty quickly. So they were originally going to prepare that program, but then it came down to when they had to hire the sign firm to prepare it, or they weren't used to preparing it themselves. They said they just needed to move forward with these signs. So this is the application we have in front of you, and we are recommending approval because it is in line.
Okay, let's come back to my question. When will we get to the point to where you can do it and it doesn't come to us?
You'd have to ask the applicant whether they are willing to reapply for either continue it and apply for a sign program, apply for it differently,
I guess I'm confused.
or come back. I can't approve it unless the sign program is written as such that it's a size limitation, not these signs.
Okay.
They applied for
This is a
these
variance
signs.
of the sign.
So
Okay, now I understand it.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to the point that, they.
I can't do it
Yeah.
administratively the way they've applied for
yeah.
it.
Okay, thank
It
you.
has to come to you. If they write it differently and applied, then all future ones would be able to be done administratively.
That's why we get the big bucks.
Yep,
Yeah, thank you. I was confused there for a
I
minute.
apologize.
No, you're fine. Doesn't take much to do that to me lately, so.
Does anybody have questions of the applicant?
No.
I'll make a motion that we approve amendment plan 208-0137 for the Walmart sign program amendment.
Second.
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. Any comments?
I do not.
All right. We will adjourn the planning commission meeting at 6:31.